Jose. Hey, Susie. I'm Jabez. Nice to meet y'all. So I see y'all was looking at these signs, right? So I heard them ask y'all point to which one is Christ. So which one did you guys choose? Which one is Christ? All right, so you chose this one right here, right? Okay, so and when you read the Bible, do you find this image written in the Bible of Christ? Okay, so you say no. So why is this image that's not in the Bible posted in every church? Right? So first and foremost, so if you know that this is not written in the Bible, which one is written in the Bible? You don't know? Okay, so let's read it. Because do you guys believe, y'all believe in God? Okay, you believe in Jesus? Okay, so let's read Revelation 1:14.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So Jose and Susie, right? So this is the revelation of Jesus Christ. Meaning the revealing, meaning Jesus Christ is going to reveal himself. So when I reveal myself to you, that means you can be able to see something that I'm showing you, right? All right, so go to verse 14. Let's see what he revealed. Listen up, Jose.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So he said his head and his hairs were white like wool. Do y'all guys, y'all watch baseball before? You ever seen baseball? So what's the rule on baseball if when you're batting up? You got 3 what? Strikes, right? You got 3 strikes, all right? So we're going to read this again. We're going to play a game of baseball between these 2 images, right? So, first thing that he said, read it again, verse 14.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So it said that Christ revealed himself, and he said his head and his hairs were white like wool. So that one, he has white woolly hair, right? This one doesn't, okay? So that one has a strike, right? That's 1 strike. Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
It said his eyes were as a flame of fire. So I can see that you're starting to get the point. So when you look at this guy's eyes, does he have eyes of flame of fire or are they blue eyes? They're blue eyes. Does this one have eyes of flame of fire? Okay, so that's 2 strikes on this one, right? Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So it said unto fine brass. What's the color of brass, Jose? What's the color of brass? It's brown, right? So it said his feet like unto fine brass. Read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So when you burn something in a furnace, Jose and Susie, what color does it turn? It turns black, right? So out of these 3 images, right? So this one, you can see is a black, very black man. This one is not a very black man. So that is the 3rd strike on this one. So we know that this is a lie. So this image right here, according to the Bible, is a lie, and this is what Christ actually looks like. So I asked you earlier, Susie and Jose, why was it put in our churches that this is what Christ looks like? Give me Matthew 24:24. Because it was a purpose behind it. So let me ask you, if I tell you a lie your whole life, how often would you be able to would think about seeking for the truth? If all you know since you were a child was this. This was all you know. This was all you believe. So you would think that this is the truth. But there's a point behind them teaching you that. Read.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 24. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets.
So it says there shall arise false Christ. So we just found out that what we learned in the world was a false Christ. This is what Christ told us, that there was going to be images put out there that would be set for us to be lied to us. Hey, how you doing, brother? So we are teaching our people, the so-called black Spanish, that this image right here and this image right here. Let me ask you first. I already asked Jose and Susie, which one of these is Christ? This one right here. So they said at first the same thing, just like you. So I'm going to ask you the same question. Y'all don't say nothing. Don't tell them the answer. Don't tell them the answer. Oh, what's your name again, bro? Darnell? Hey, Jabez, nice to meet you. So, where in the Bible does it say that Christ looked like this? You never read it before, right? So what we just read in Revelation chapter 1, verse 14, that Christ was a black man with white woolly hair. So when you look here on these signs, you look at the difference. Go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So we had white woolly hair. So which one of these have white woolly hair, Darnell? That one right there, okay, read.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So when you put something in a furnace, what color does it turn, Darnell? Black. So Christ, the image of Christ is very easily to understand according to the Bible that he was a black man. So I asked Susie and Jose, why was in our churches everywhere we go, they teach us that this is the image of Christ? Hey, come on, I can barely hear you because you got this generator.
They probably wanted to make white look right.
Yeah, they want to make white look right, right? So they want to make white look right. So what does that mean to you, Susie and Jose? If they wanted to make white look right, what does that have to say about y'all who who not white? If white looks right, that means everything else is what? It's wrong, right? It's a depiction. So give me that Deuteronomy 28 a proverb by word. Because what do they say about so-called black people? They say that we lazy, right? They say that we're drug dealers, we're gangbangers. What do they say about Mexicans? The same thing, right? So we all have same titles that they put upon us because they want to make them look better than us and make us look like we're the evil people upon the face of the earth. Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword.
So God said that the so-called blacks and Hispanics will become an astonishment and a proverb. What is a proverb? I'll give it to you. A proverb is a wise saying. A wise saying or a stereotype. All our lives, through growing up, we always had different types of stereotypes put on us. God said that we would have stereotypes where they say that we're gangbangers, robbers, rapists, murderers, drug dealers. God said that would happen as a curse for breaking his commandments. There's only one people on the face of the earth, no matter where you go, we have some type of derogatory term used to describe us. Is that right? Is that right? Exactly. Read on.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
And it says, and a byword. A byword is calling yourself Mexican. A byword is calling yourself black or African American. Because if I ask you, what does the word Mexican mean? We know that it means you're an inhabitant of Mexico, but what does Mexico mean? What did you say? Alright, because I'll tell you this right now. So Mexico comes from the Roman Empire, means land of the war god. So it means because all the conquests that happen here with the conquistadors, they had all these wars to conquer Mexico. So it was named by the Roman Empire called the land of the war god. So your name is Susie, and your name is Jose, and your name is Darnell. So what if I say I'm going to call you Larry, I'm going to call you Jane, and I'm going to call you James? Are y'all going to go by those names? Why not? It's not your name, but you've been calling yourself a nationality that was given to you by another race of people. Who told you that you were African American? School, right? And who runs the school systems? Basically white people. Who told you that you were Mexican? You probably learned it from your parents, but again, the word Mexico, before you guys were speaking Spanish, y'all were speaking Nahuatl, which means a smooth speaking language. But that was really Hebrew. You didn't know Spanish until you were conquered. So you didn't know no word named Mexico. That's something that you were taught from your oppressors.
Right.
So you calling yourself a nationality that was given to you by another race of people. That is a curse because that is a byword. God said that you're an Israelite, both of you from the tribe of Issachar. God has said that you are an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. You are not Hispanics. You're not blacks. You are God's chosen people. And according to the Bible, give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. According to the Bible, these curses prove that we are the children of Israel. Because if I ask you what's going on in the border, what would you tell me? Are you familiar with children being separated from their families, right? Being put in detention centers, right? So what about slavery? What was happening to our parents in slavery and our parents' children? What were they doing? They were separating and selling them, right? Right? So read that. Deuteronomy 28, verse 32.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So Susie and Jose, the topic is our sons and our daughters. we were just talking about across the border. Sons and daughters are being taken away from their parents. Is that correct? In slavery, sons and daughters were being taken away from their parents, right? Even today, CPS, what do? They take sons and daughters away from their parents, and they're given unto another people. What's that called? That's foster care. They put them in these foster systems, and they give your children off to other people. God said that that would be a curse that would only happen to a select group of people, which is the Israelites. But that reflects black history, that reflects Hispanic history. Wanna know why? Because we are the children of Israel according to the Bible.
Yes,
We are God's chosen people. And the reason why, because I ask you, why do in every one of our communities we go to, is there always it's drug infested? Why in all of our neighborhoods there's gang infested? Why is that? I'm gonna ask you, Susie, Jose. Now I'm gonna go to you, Darnell. Stereotype, all right. But why is it, no matter where we go, if you say stereotype, yeah, it's true. But why is it in our communities? Because it is in our communities, right? You can walk outside and you can see some gang graffiti around your neighborhood. You can see gang bangers in your neighborhood. You can see drugs. You see crackheads everywhere you go. That's something you see, and it's mainly our people. So the question is, why do you think that? Why do you think that's in all of our communities? Huh? You come around this time, bro, that speaker loud. Yeah, he wants it like that, and that's a heavy point. They do want it like that, because why? You said they want to keep one up on us. They want to keep one, they want to make sure that we're at the bottom and they're on top. But it's the main reason why is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Because I told y'all that we are God's chosen people. And when you are a chosen person, you have higher standards and morals that is set for you more than anybody else. Because if you're a supervisor at your job, right? Say you are a supervisor job. Aren't you held at a different level of accountability than everybody, the other employees in front of you, behind you? Why? Because you got more responsibility given to you. They expect something out of you. So God saying that we're his chosen people, he gave us a certain level of expectations that we have to keep. So Deuteronomy 28 verse 16, because this explains verse 15, why our communities are like they are. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So let me ask you today, do you think that us as a people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are we listening to the word of God? Are we really paying attention to what he's saying? Or we just show up to church because our parents force us to go there, right? So we're not really listening and hearkening, right? All right, but God is saying, if we do not listen, read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God said if we chose not to listen or not to do his commandments, that curses will come upon us and overtake us. So is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? It's bad? You believe it's bad? You believe it's bad? All right, so when you look at your communities and you see gang violence, you see drugs and violence, those are God's curses being upon us because we choose not to keep his commandments.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.